I've always, when Martha suggested I do this, to be honest with you, it woke up a fire that had been put out. And it was great to have it rekindled. And James Richardson and I were relating, Troop 72 almost had a very big beginning and a very short life. On our very first camping trip, the 5 original members had gone to the top of this ridge, and all 5 of them were sliding down this leaf-covered bank, gaining speed, having the time of their life. And I looked up along with a couple of other leaders, and they literally were sliding to the very end of a bluff. And they were probably 30, 40 feet, and that would have been really a tragic end. But because they were good scouts, and I yelled at them, they stopped, and it was really kind of the beginning of the troop. And to be honest with you, Greg and I would do this again. People say, well, why have you been signed up for this such a long period of time? To be honest with you, Glenn Robinson was a great example to us because he got out of scouting. What was he, Dan? 75 years of registered scouting? Yeah. And he used to tell the kids about meeting James West and the time that he was at the first World Jamboree, and the kids used to roll their eyes. But there's a heritage there that Greg and I have really appreciated about being around men like that. And Dan is the same, but there are a lot of scouters who have been doing this for a long time. But I want to tell you just a few brief stories about Greg and I and our relationship in the troop. I'm a snorer. That
understatement.
Legendary. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better. Well, Greg always wears earplugs, and we've camped together for years and years. And the thing about Lucy's really not true. She's a great place to hang your coffee cup on her tooth, but we're up at Oak Quarry, and it's getting time for us. We got to go. And I finally wake up. Of course, you know, I don't like being early. Greg doesn't either. I nudged Greg. He didn't move. I called out to Greg. He didn't move. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my snoring has finally killed me. I get out my sleeping bag, and I literally get I'm leaning over his face, and I'm yelling, Greg, Greg, Greg. And all of a sudden, his eyes popped open. He had his earplugs in. He could not hear a single thing and was not rousing. It literally scared the bejeebus out of me. We're at scout camp, and you know, when we're at scout camp, you have a lot of extra time as leaders. And Greg and I, it's really hot, and we're kind of, you know, sitting on our respective cots. And I said to Greg, we started having a discussion. Well, I wonder what our wives think about us being at scout camp. And I said, I'll bet when we get home they're going to tell us that we are great. So for the rest of camp, every time I would see Greg, he says, Greg, I just want you to know you are great. Well, that's carried on for 20 years. To be honest with you, we never heard that from our wives. So, you have delirium when you're at scout camp, those kind of things. I would like to say this. You guys are honoring us today, but the reality is that all the leaders that have been involved in this thing, we're just a figurehead. That's what I've always told them. I really want to get to the point where I can just be a figurehead and work directly. Well, I've always worked directly with the Scouts, and so has Greg, but it's been a real privilege for us to do this. And I'm going to ask you Scouts to do something. Someday, Mr. Lissier is not going to be here, but you will be. And would you promise me that when you get asked, that you will commit something back to Scouts? Because to be honest with you, the young boys need fine men as yourselves to lead the way. And God will use you. I promise you He will use you. And to be honest with you, it'll be so much more enjoyable to be in the fray than to watch it from the edge. So guys, thank you. If you make that promise to me, Mr. Liskey and our job will have been done. We haven't met the scout that's going to make us quit yet, have we? I don't really want any of you current guys to try to be that scout.
So now is the time, now it's your time. It's your time as scouters or former scouts to tell what you want. Tell your memories of Mr. Liskey, Mr. Graham. So it's really up to you. If you want to say something, I'll probably just let you come up, but don't be shy. I'm going to start it off. By reading a letter that Pierce Hodges sent to us to be read at this occasion. It said, an open letter to Mr. Liskey and Mr. Graham, also known as Teddy Graham and Mulliken. Right. To me, okay, it says Mark Graham and Greg Liskey. I think I can speak for all the scouts that have been through Troop 72 when I say that I cannot adequately express the gratitude we carry for your contribution to our lives. You have shown us what it truly means to be men of integrity. Every day you have proven to be the living examples of the Scout Oath and law. Because of your example and guidance, we have learned to carry these values into our successes and handle our failures with grace and dignity. When each of us first joined Troop 72, we were merely boys. By the time we reached Eagle, we were still boys, but now we understood what it would take to become men. For all the better or worse in our lives, know that you have made an insurmountable contribution to the better. Becoming an Eagle Scout is the highest honor a Scout can attain, but having attained it under your leadership, I have learned that there is a higher honor for an Eagle Scout. This is to rise above and beyond the call of duty and to become men like you two. You have been our vigilant leader, mentor, counselor, father, friend, and for all this, we are forever in your debt. Scouting has given me so much, but your contribution has given me even more. It is my sincerest hope that one day it will be my privilege to give back. Yours in Scouting, Pierce Hodges. We'll make sure you get a copy of this too. Next, I think I'm going to ask Jason Liskey to come up if he's ready, say a few words. And if you want to say something,